It's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you tune into World Combat Sports.
Shout out to the one and only Roy Jones Jr. You know what it is. Once again, thanks for tuning in. You're listening to World Combat Sports. On for another one. Hey, some big news dropping all over. Boxing's, is on the stove hot and heavy right now. We have Gervonta Davis. He had his open workout over there at TMT in Las Vegas. And also we had this news come across the media airwaves. Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury 3 presser is going down when? Next Tuesday? Los Angeles? Are you serious? Do they have the right people in place so quickly? I heard the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury presser is going down next week. But let's get to it. I got Carissa Shields again. I wanted to touch on some other information that I wasn't able to touch on because I was having a discussion with a certain individual and they just don't get it. It's just with media, according to, how many subscribers or what type of level that you have, people want to listen to you for what it's worth. And we found out that people that have the higher platforms can say some bullshit, just like co-signing Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, and people believe it. People believe that bullshit. But I'm trying to explain to certain people about, though Clarissa Shields is leaving the sport of boxing for MMA temporarily, don't sit up here and push the narrative that she's the only one to do it. Don't push the narrative as if it's never been done before. You haven't had other champions that go over the MMA and everything. I understand she's a sister. I'm a black man just like she's a black woman. I get it. But that ain't the narrative right now. When it comes down to integrity on what I know about mixed martial arts and all the other sports, we understand she's a double gold Olympian. That has nothing to do with her changing over to mixed martial arts temporarily. It doesn't. There have been other women who did the same thing. At one point in time, Anna Kulatan, she was one of the fastest women in boxing to earn a championship in 5 fights. And then, of course, Clarissa ended up earning her championship much faster than that. It was her 3rd professional fight. Anna went on to compete in boxing, become world champion, and then compete in one championship mixed martial arts. Then she went on to compete in Bellator. Heather Hardy, also featherweight champion. She went over there to mixed martial arts. She has a win over Anna Kulatan, unanimous decision. She's fought in Bellator. Amanda Serrano's, she's went over there and fought mixed martial arts. 7 division world champion. This is what I'm saying. I look at it like this. If you don't know who Holly Holmes is, an 18-time world champion in 3 different weight classes. 18-time world champion, 3 different weight classes. She's the first one to go over and defeat Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey had defended her title 5 times. That means she's a 6-time world champion. Holly Holmes ended up getting her opportunity and she defeated Ronda Rousey, broke her streak, ruined her mixed martial arts career, all of that, just broke her wheel and everything. She left the sport for a while and then came back and was beat down again by Amanda Nunes. But Holly Holmes was the first to do it. She is one of the most decorated boxers to fight on the highest level, which is considered the UFC promotion. That's just the knowledge for you all that partake, primarily in boxing and kind of go every now and then in mixed martial arts. That's just a helpful hint of knowledge that you need to know. Stop pushing the narrative that this is the first time it's ever been done and all this other stuff. It is absolutely not. Now I'm rooting for Carissa Shields to go in there and beat the brakes off Brittany Elkin. It's going to be a good fight if Carissa sticks to what she say she is. She say she a dog. If she goes in there and push the pressure and let her hands do the talking, she may get an early stoppage. Or she can wait and, being that Brittany Elkin is a grappler, wait for her to come in and try to counter her. Either way it goes, when you have a grappler, the first thing they're trying to do is close distance, period. That's some nuggets for you. If you're moonlighting a little bit part-time in mixed martial arts, that's a nugget. If you have a boxer and then you have a grappler, the intentions of a grappler is to get close to you, to get a hold of you. A boxer is to get close to you, to delegate punishment via their hands, to land some punches, to attempt to knock you out, hurt you. That's what a boxer's main intent is if they're not inclined or not trained enough, experienced enough in takedown defense, wrestling, BJJ, or whatever the case may be. So take that for what it's worth, people. I just want you to understand that you have other fighters that's out here, female boxers, who have crossed over to mixed martial arts. I'm absolutely rooting for Carissa to go in there and get the job done. I just don't know from seeing her practice a little bit if she understands the method of changing levels when it comes to a grappler. Because the first thing a mixed martial artist that has competed as long as Brittany is she's going to set traps. Setting traps in mixed martial arts is different than setting traps in boxing. You're utilizing your lower extremity as a weapon. In boxing, you cannot grab hold of somebody's legs and try to lift them up and put them on the mat. In mixed martial arts, you can. So it don't matter how bad of a fighter that you think you are, you can have the quickest hands there is. But in mixed martial arts that's trained and experienced in the fights, they will feint you as if they're going up top. Before you know it, they in on a single. And if you don't have proper takedown defense, you hitting them in the back of the head or whatever you try to do, maybe it'll work and potentially it won't, because their whole process is to get you down to the mat. Now, another huge detail is the gloves. Just like Carissa is a high-level elite boxer in the sport, multi-time world champion, she has 4-ounce gloves that will may improve her power a little bit in mixed martial arts. But she has to understand that these mixed martial artists also been fighting with 4-ounce gloves. They understand how they feel. They're used to certain type of kicks and strikes landing on their body in certain areas that it's not new to them anymore. But the Brittany Elkin, she totally understands how that feel. I was watching her workout. I've been studying some film on Brittany. She's no slouch, bro, when it comes to damn grappling. She's no slouch, man. Real talk. Like, her grappling game is on point. Her grappling game is high level when it's coming to a fight like this. I mean, this is not a walk in the park for Carissa Shields. I mean, if she make it look like that, I'm saying, damn, that's what I'm talking about. She goes in there and fights smart. I'm saying to myself, okay, that's the way it's supposed to be. But Brittany Elkin is a legitimate BJJ along with a mixed martial artist. She's somewhat of a full package when it comes to mixed martial arts. Shields have had 7 months, 6 or 7 months to prepare her to step in the cage. 6 or 7 months is man, it's not even, I mean, I'm telling you, it doesn't even scratch the surface, come close to scratching the surface for the amount of time you have to spend in training, certain levels in MMA. It doesn't even scratch the surface, the amount of mat time that she's absent in. Mat time. Wrestling, grappling is essential. Wrestling, grappling, takedown defense is essential. The good thing about it is that she's such an elite level with her hands. She just have to switch up certain things when it comes to training boxing and mixed martial arts. She just have to switch some things up because it ain't the same as getting in the ring and swinging and thinking it's a ring. Because mentally you have to prepare yourself for the other elements that you're dealing with. That element is crucial when it comes to your opponent changing levels on you. So you have to be careful about committing like you would in boxing. In boxing, you overly commit, and you might, your opponent might slip up under your right hand, so to speak, and you go past and you change directions and face your opponent. It's not such a big deal if you miss that punch. But in mixed martial arts, if you miss a punch and they slip underneath you, they might be on your waist before you know it. And your front and back of your body is legal in mixed martial arts. It's accessible to you winning the fight. It is entirely 100% of your body that is accessible for any type of striking that you have available to get the job done, except eye gouging, biting, groin strikes. Back in the day, groin strikes was legal. Back in the day, headbutts was legal, according to what organization you was in. But now you can still use your head. It's just for position. You can put your head in your opponent's chin, jawline, make it uncomfortable, all while in the process of improving your position, whether it's up against the cage or it's on the mat. It doesn't matter. Your head can be used. You can put your hand over your opponent's mouth to hinder their breathing, people. Brittany can put her hand over Carissa's mouth, and her not being in the cage, she might look at that shit like, God damn it, what is going on? I'm trying to breathe. She can put her hand over her mouth and nose and prevent her from breathing. This is the mindset I want you to be in. This is not one of those moments where you have a sanctified combat sports where you're going to follow all the rules in the name of. This has nothing to do with it. This is not a street fight, but damn near a street fight. Like I said before, the only thing you can't do is eye gouge, bite, hit in the groin. Pretty much, if you want to put your elbow to somebody's face, you can. If you want to cover their mouth, you can cover their mouth. You can cover their nose. You can submit them by restricting their breathing until they go unconscious if they choose not to tap. You can put their body or limb in a position where it feels like it's about to break. And you can absolutely try your hardest to break it until they tap or the referee call the fight. That's brutal. I hear so many people talking about this. I would love to have a conversation with some of y'all media people. Media outlets is out there just talking about this shit like Carissa switching from the ring to the cage and it's a carnival. She's going from one dangerous sport to another dangerous sport, which some will consider a lot more dangerous when it comes to you keeping your conscience. That's just the way it is, people. When you compare boxing to mixed martial arts, if you're switching over from your upper extremities, being able to delegate your punching authority, absent of any elbows and spinning technique, you have to assure yourself that you totally understand when you cross over to the cage, from head to toe, your body is a weapon. From head to toe. Ankle, knee locks. Ankle lock, knee bars, they can straighten your knee out the wrong way. That shit can snap in half or tear ACL, PCL, MCL, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Any part of your body that they want to get a hold of, They can do it. You know, most of the time when people see a RNC, they really don't know how bad it feels and how claustrophobic one can get if you have a experienced grappler lock you down where you look. Sometimes when they put the hooks in, they do it to a point where they trap your arm so you can't even reach your arm up there to fight the choke. So your arm is trapped and you're being choked out and your breathing is being restricted. It sends your mindset into a panic, y'all. It's the first time I was choked out. It sends you in a panic because you can feel yourself going unconscious. You know how the old school, how you just let's just say you was in a fight and you took both of your hands and put it around your adversary's neck. That's legal in mixed martial arts, but people don't use it because it can set you up with your arms extended for submission. It's legal. See, if Elkin does that to Carissa Shields this weekend, put both her hands around her neck, that is going to be such a novice type of submission on who she perceives to be a novice mixed martial artist. It's just the brain, the brain fucker, so to speak. Like, I'm doing some shit that I don't even do against somebody who's my equal to my level or higher. I wouldn't even put both of my hands around your neck because it sets you up for a submission. But to somebody like Carissa, who hasn't experienced everything there is to know defensively and offensively, it's going to be interesting this weekend. Now, I swear to you, Carissa goes in there and knocks this chick out. If she gets taken down and is able to get back to her feet, man, I'm clapping like I don't know what. I'm going to say, God damn, she tough as hell, man. Serious. If she's in there with a grappler who's been competing, it's no option. This ain't motherfucking sparring when it comes to grappling like this. This I don't care who you've been in the gym with. This ain't sparring. A grappler gets you on the ground I'm talking about a competitive grappler. You don't supposed to make it back to your feet if you have the level of experience of Carissa Shields. Period. It ain't happening. It didn't happen for James Toney. It didn't happen for a lot of people who attempted to transfer over to mixed martial arts from boxing with limited experience. Believe me, people. The stay close effect that a grappler has once they take you down, they are so close. It's hardly any space between you and them. Before you know it, they're working for a position and you have no idea what they're working for if you do not have that type of experience to work off your back. It's just an incredible art. I call it the muddy flats for a reason. It's a dirty, dirty sport. And you probably ask yourself, why the muddy flats? People ask me that. Why the muddy flats? It's so much that goes into the ground game that you have teenagers, if they're in there long enough, they can compete against adults. That's a dirty game. We have grapplers who are outweighed by 150, 180, but potentially 200 pounds. Going in there with individuals that's 120, 125 and losing. Why? Because all of your limbs are accessible for submission. The weight will play a role to some, but if they're crafty and they're experienced enough and competing in these NAGA tournaments, EBI, the list goes on and on and on, man. They learn how to render their opponent helpless. They want to put them in a position of surrender. Surrender is more often a submission. You have to understand that when it comes to Carissa Shields crossing over to mixed martial arts, this is not something that you're saying, okay, I'm not going to sit up here and just jump for the high heavens and say, glorify, yeah. I'm thinking, I feel some type of way about her well-being going over the mixed martial arts. Because if she's high kicked like Valentina Shevchenko did Jessica I, if she's high kicked like Amanda Nunes did Holly Holmes, it's brutal. Did I not mention to you that flying knees are also into the equation? You have to know how to do execute a flying knee properly for maximum extension. Did I tell you that? You have to worry about low, mid to high kicks, also spinning heel kicks, flying knees. You can jump up in the air and come down with an elbow, execute the elbow strike. When you're on your back and your opponent's on top of you, you can punch him in the face. If you get your opponent to create space between you and your opponent and you on your back, and if your opponent's coming towards you to try to close distance and get within your guard, you can up kick the shit out of them. You can take both of your feet and kick the shit out of them while you're on the ground. They cannot kick you in the head while you're on the ground, but the grounded opponent can up kick their opponent who's in top position. So when I'm trying to speak to people about this, they don't want to get educated, man. They just hear you and they just want to like believe because they know boxing. I know boxing too. But I've been following mixed martial arts and basically trained in a period of time also. If you haven't been choked unconscious and people wake you up, then you wouldn't fully understand what I'm talking about. It's a dangerous freaking sport to change over and play. I just feel like right now it would have been good for her just to take a full year and a half out from boxing. Man, look at what so much she's accomplished. She just finished unifying another division. I would take a full year and a half away from boxing, like I said earlier. Compete in mixed martial arts. Stay gone to the point where they're calling for you to come back. And use that call out, use that want to leverage your paycheck. I've been over here competing in mixed martial arts, goddammit. And you want me to come back and fight who again? I mean, what you talking about? If they're talking about 500K, like, nah. If you want me to come back, I'm the GOAT. Nah, I'm in the millions right now. I've been advocating for my pay for a long time. I'm in the millions. Pay me millions. That's all. Because that's where she's going. She's trying to basically go to a sport to find a fan base that appreciate her and an organization that appreciate her. When your fans appreciate you just a little bit more, you get paid more. That's just the way it is. You can be the baddest woman on the planet, but if your fans are not really eager to see you fight, then the promoters are gonna take that shit and they're gonna say, well, we're gonna pay you this much because you're really not selling tickets like that. I said Clarissa should try out mixed martial arts long before she even came close to doing PFL. I said she's done enough in the sport of boxing. But me, if I come in here and say, man, I was the one talking about mixed martial arts and said she should go over there before she even signed any PFL contract, before the news even came out. I said she should try her hand at mixed martial arts because she's only 25, 26 years old. At the time I mentioned, she was 25, I think. I said, what else is there? What else is there for Clarissa to achieve in the sport of boxing right now? It'll be a good time for her to take a hiatus. If I was her, I would have took a year straight. I'm not sure she could do that, being that, she hadn't been stacking the millions, just touching M's, like Daniel Jacobs said. So therefore, find some way, sponsor something to train a full year in mixed martial arts before she have a competition, because we don't want her to attempt to fight in MMA, and then she go in there and get blasted. And it's like, oh, that was a hype train. Then the media get a hold of it. Oh, Carissa Shields tried mixed martial arts. Ha ha ha. That was short lived. We don't want that, because Heather Hardy, she's went in there and got blasted too. I mean, she's won via knockout. You know what I'm saying? She's had her ups and downs, but she's tough as hell. She has the experience. Other women have attempted to cross over and haven't really stayed in the sport as long. You know, I'm talking about when they're still competing in boxing and trying to cross over the mixed martial arts. That's tough to do. But for a woman, being that they don't get paid that much, it's another fan base for them to, integrate themselves into. Let me get to these live chats, man. What's good? Deshaun Thompson in the building. Salute. What's good? What's good? Let me fix something right quick, y'all. Deshaun say, WCS, I really love Shields, but bro, this seems so forced. But really, how long does it take to develop a skill in the UFC? I will not be shocked if Shields lose badly. Okay, I respect your comment, being that you're speaking on mixed martial arts. I get it, bro. But check this out. She's not going to the UFC. There's no way that Dana White will allow Carissa Shields to come over to the UFC, put her on the main card, just from training 7 months. She's going to compete in PFL, primarily a tournament-based organization. Also, the depth of women in the PFL in Carissa's weight division, which is lightweight, 155, is very shallow right now. It's tough for Carissa to move over from boxing over there and drop weight to one. Check this out. I said this early. Featherweight is 145. Lightweight is 155. Just like there's a equal lineage across the board when it comes to the scales, the same thing can be said when you go into mixed martial arts. But it's not from sport to sport that the same weight class resonates from one to the other. 145 in mixed martial arts, we're talking about featherweight. It's featherweight, y'all. 145 in boxing is close to welterweight. Welterweight in mixed martial arts is 170 pounds, which in boxing is close to light heavyweight. Featherweight in boxing is 126. You feel me? I mean, the scales are it's different. It's much, much different. So when you coming over here and you say, well, in boxing, I competed, just say it's Carissa Shields. My last weight class was 154. Well, guess what? That's where she's at. She's competing in a weight class that's equal to her last division that she's competing in. Her last division in boxing was 154. Now she's competing over in PFL at 155, which is lightweight. You want to hear another tidbit? 155 is the highest weight class in the PFL for women. There is no weight class higher than 155. It's just not enough women that's that heavy to compete in these weight classes. Now, in the UFC, the highest weight class is 145. 145 pounds, which used to be basically, I would say, you had Chris Cyborg and whoever they was throwing her in there. They had 35ers moving up to 45 to face Chris Cyborg when she was the champion. And then Amanda Nunes said, you know what? You know, Dana White matchmakers got together. They say, okay, this is Chris's last fight on her contract. You know, Amanda Nunes is interested in being champ. Let's send her up there to fight Chris Cyborg. Everybody's been talking. So she goes up there and she wins via knockout. And I tell people, if Chris Cyborg would have beat Amanda Nunes, she would have had to stay in the UFC contractually for another 3 fights, I believe. She didn't want to be there. So it's not so much she got her ass beat. It's the fact that she wanted to leave the organization and fight in another organization. That's facts. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's facts. J8 in the building. What's good? Shields got it. I think she can knock Elkin out, but she got to do it early. She has to do it early, and she has to do it correctly. Shields has to close distance on Elkin, get in close and let her hands move while she's coming in. She has to be throwing punches on the way in to catch her with something. Don't just close distance and you faint. Your hands are just up there, you posturing and you moving your feet. That is a telltale sign and an open invitation for Elkin, a grappler, to get in on a double single easily. If you're not letting the hands fly to keep her honest, to have her thinking about, damn, this is a 2-time gold Olympian, a multi-division world champion. She hit me with these 4-ounce gloves. I'm going to feel it. All Clarissa has to do is catch her with an uppercut, and then she let her combinations do the rest. A hook, uppercut, that shit is going to be felt with 4-ounce gloves, people. It don't matter if she got 2-ounce two knockouts in boxing. If she hits her opponent with 4-ounce gloves on, with the amount of speed that Clarissa Shields has, it's going to hurt more than if she had boxing gloves on. Believe it. It's damn near close to bare knuckle. Remember, the gloves are only there to protect the hands of the fighter. It's not to protect the face of the opponent. It's to protect the hand of the fighter. And case in point, Clarissa has to understand where to place her punches. In boxing, you have hand wraps, that's a certain amount of cushion, and you have a certain ounce of glove that you deal with, depending on the weight class you're in. In boxing, you can put your entire strength and force into a punch, and don't worry about it too much because your knuckles are protected. But the lower the ounce of glove that you compete in, you have to worry about breaking bones, fracturing knuckles. In boxing, your entire hand is encased. In MMA, your fingers are exposed. It's a different type of feeling. That's all I'm saying. It's gonna be different. You know, I understand that the boxing segue out here, they want to hype it up, they want to glorify, they want to say, oh, Clarissa, this ain't a game, people. If you ain't talking mixed martial arts and studying this shit like I do, I gotta say, you know, stop treating this shit like it's a carnival. Like, oh, Carissa's, oh, la-li-da, she's going over from boxing to MMA. Man, this is dangerous shit. The reason why it's dangerous in my catalog, the way I look at it, is Clarissa is still pursuing a boxing career. If you go over to mixed martial arts, you are susceptible to joint manipulation. Once again, you are susceptible to joint manipulation. Joint manipulation can cause breaks, tendon tears, all that, which will affect her boxing career. She has to let that shit heal and make sure it comes back right. If she's never had anything happen to her like that, of course, she hasn't been competing in mixed martial arts. It's going to take some getting used to. Who knows if she gets an injury in mixed martial arts, is it going to be a nagging injury once she rejoins the sport of boxing? Blueprint say salute with Fury Wilder press be in LA. Yes, it's scheduled for LA. Absolutely. J.A. Tank had the media workout today. Yes, sir. Tank looked good. Man, Tank looked good. He's not dropping 35, 30. He looks good, man. He looks full. You can tell his face, he looks full. He's taking this shit serious. I mean, Tank, man, I'm telling you. Y'all, I know y'all can talk about other fighters that you believe have a bigger name, but Tank, if he can stay out of trouble, man, if he can stay out of trouble, Tank is moving accordingly, man. It doesn't matter if he's going up there and getting a secondary belt. He's moving accordingly, put these divisions away, just like Adrian Broner did. Adrian Broner became 4-division champ early in his career. He's only 31 years old, but they say he washed up. Andrew Charles in the building. Salute WCS in the chat. Appreciate you. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. You know, I have some boxing excursions that I have to go to. If you want to donate, I would appreciate it. I definitely have some boxing media excursions that I have to go to. So if those who support the channel, you know, the Cash App is flying across the screen, I would truly appreciate your donation. Real talk. Tank had the media salute. Deshaun, is there an over-under betting line on if there will be 50 security guards on the stage in Wilder versus Fury first pressing tour? And would that be a face-off? Because I don't think that would be safe for Fury. Listen, one thing we need to understand that these fighters are really not trying to mess up their money. They're not trying to mess up the bag, right? If you follow boxing long enough, it's been plenty of instances. We've seen it even with Wilder and Fury. Wilder pushed Fury, Fury to push Wilder back. We've seen to the point where punches was thrown. Mike Tyson, Riddick Bowe. Man, the list goes on. Even Floyd Mayweather choked the shit out of Victor Ortiz. Man, this is what we know. This is what we know when it comes to sport of boxing. Muhammad Ali was even in scuffles. This is what we know. If it is, then it is. It's not up to me. It's up to the promotion to have enough security up there. I could care less. Don't get me up here telling you, oh, well, I just hope it's amicable. Hell no. Hell no. This not even a calm before the storm. This shit is not calm. This is like a tsunami. For those of you that know what a tsunami is, when a tsunami roll in sometime, all you have to pay attention to certain areas, especially water. The water just begin to rise. You know, it slowly rises. And by the time you get the heart of the shock wave that started, you know what I'm saying, started the tsunami from beneath, it's too late. It's no faucet to turn that bitch off. The water levels raises so much that it's pure destruction, man. It takes a little bit of time to come to shore. And when it comes to shore, it's wiping out. You remember the shit with Sri Lanka? Sri Lanka? You remember Sri Lanka? That tsunami rolled in. People was out there chilling. It was all nice and sunny and shit. They showed the before and afters on how that tsunami rolled in on a resort. And people was running for their lives. Anyway, not to get off topic. Brandon Lee or Antoine Russell, good fights for Tank and should be easy to make. Now, we know Brandon Lee has showed out in his recent fights and showed definitely Antoine Russell. All right. It's all about how Floyd is planning on moving them. But let me close out Carissa Shields right quick and I get on Tank. And I also have to talk about Wilder. They're going to be going up against UFC 263, Israel Adesanya and Marvin Vettori. MMA fan base is different, man. They'll look at something, they say, oh, that boxers, this is the conversation. Oh, that boxer is coming over here, huh? Okay. They don't get as up, as energetic, so to speak. They don't perk up when people, start to join MMA because they seen it. You know what I'm saying? MMA has a different type of fan base. So there may be some that tune into it and some that may not. But they understands who's in the UFC. The UFC usually gives a minimum of 2 championship fights. So unless you're hardcore, you have to understand PFL is just giving you a fight card. The UFC is giving you 2 title shots, a title shot in flyweight and a title shot at middleweight. So best wishes. This is not the last time I'll talk about Shields, but best wishes to her going over there. It's so much for her to prepare for. I mean, it's unbelievable. She goes in there and get the job done with her hands. I'm gonna say, God damn it, that's the way you're supposed to go in and get that knockout and keep it moving. For Gervonta Davis, man, if you look at my thumbnail, right? Gervonta Davis sent that tweet out for Oscar Valdez. He said, "I will tuck him in like a baby." He mean, after Oscar Valdez knocked out Miguel Berchelt, Gervonta Davis, rather. I was about to say Anthony Davis. I was looking at this motherfucking parody after the Lakers lost, and it was LeBron James going off on the team and all that. He went off on Anthony Davis for being injury prone. But anyway, Gervonta Davis, he sent that text out in reference to Miguel Berchelt being knocked out by Oscar Valdez. And he was basically saying, "I'll tuck you in like a baby there, Oscar." With Mario Barrios, I seen the difference. Like, this picture is actually the picture I took. Mario Barrios has height and range on Tank, man. But Tank's been in there with some big boys, man. Tank is a different breed when it comes to sparring. I've seen it up close and personal with Tank. I've seen him in open workouts, and I've seen him get it in with my boy Brian Norman, the assassin down here. I've seen 2 days raw footage of Gervonta Davis, multi-time world champion. I've seen him in action. And make it so bad, this guy that he sparred down here, he has sparred at 16. When the guy was 16 years old, he sparred him when he was 16. And they went at it. The assassin is somebody to keep an eye on too. Brian Norman Jr., keep an eye on him, man. 21-0. Gervonta Davis is a dog when it comes down to it. So Mario Barrios, man, I wouldn't call it something bad. The only point of reference I can say when observing the energy that was there during that presser was that Mario didn't ever look at Tank Davis when he was sitting down in front of the people. He was looking down a little bit, and Tank was actually turned over looking at Mario's. He was like trying to get his attention. Tank Davis would do little subtle, small, antagonistic type shit. I'm telling you, like, the worst you're going to see with Tank is probably what he did to Gamboa. He was hour plus late. He came in overweight, and he pushed Gamboa, which caused mayhem down in the A, right? But when he was up on stage with Mario, he turned all the way to his left, and he was looking, and he was trying to tease and antagonize Mario to get some type of reaction. And Mario was just looking down. He was looking into the, where the photographer, where the media is at. I'm not saying he was scared, not at all. I'm just saying he never made eye contact with Tank Davis until they was faced off. That's what I seen with Mario Barrios from their first presser. That doesn't mean shit. That don't mean he gonna come in there and fight any old kind of way. I seen Barrios fight already when he fought Ryan Carl. I'm gonna tell you, Ryan Carl was landing some shots on Barrios early, but he stopped him. He knocked him out cold. But let's get one thing straight. Tank Davis is not wearing a cowboy hat, and his last name ain't Carl. Tank fight different than Ryan Call. He's been on Tank undercards. So just like Tank has been able to see Barrios fight, Barrios has been able to see Tank fight. But just take a look at it. When they knocked out their opponent on the same card, who did it better? Tank. Tank obliterated Leo Santa Cruz Conscious State. People was going crazy, including myself. It was social distancing. But we was running around that motherfucker like we stole something. That shit was so brutal. But when Barrios knocked out Call, we was cheering, but it was more like the knockout came like we expected. When Tank did it, we didn't expect it to be so brutal though, because Tank was like drawing out that, drawing that straight, boom, lit him up on the third one. He said, okay, right, crack. Went underneath it with that damn left uppercut. It's over. But to answer your question, Deshaun, I don't know about the security, man. I don't know, bro. Tank looked ready at 140. Absolutely, man. Brandon Lee Antoine was good fights. Deshaun, only water I like is essential water. All that other ish, you can keep that. WCS. What you mean? Essential water, all that other ish, you can keep that. I'm not sure what you mean, Deshaun. Like what you mean? Essential water. Is there some word I'm missing? Barrios had a tough fight with Akhmedov. I'm just looking at his fight with Tank. It's going to be a different opponent. And I know they're looking at the size different, but also they are extremely considering the punching power. I've seen Tank cut off the clock and fight, man, some crazy minutes, still talking shit the whole time. And he wasn't even in fight conditioning shape. That's what he do. He was talking shit. I mean, it was an intense sparring match down here. Them two was going at it. Y'all sleep on Brian Norman if you want to. But unfortunately, they fight at different weight classes. That would be a hell of a motherfucking fight. But Tank Davis was talking shit both sparring sessions. And that motherfucker was intense. Like they was dropping bombs on one another. We couldn't record because he asked for work. He found out who it was. They said cut off all the cameras, no recording. Both days, Monday and Wednesday. Barrios got something in store, man. I mean, Barrios knows he has something in front of him. That power is incredible from Tank. It's different when you actually experience seeing a fighter at work and you're able to see them compete in the ring. You know, it's a difference, y'all. Seriously. It's a difference when you see the intensity on your face. You see the expressions. You hear the sounds. You get to see them in certain positions. You know, if they're being pressed up against the ropes and let's just say their foe or their sparring partner is landing some combinations on how they counter. You know what I'm saying? What's their reaction? Are they just going to stay on the ropes and take that punishment? Or are they going to pivot out, reset? Or are they going to punch themselves out of that situation? They're going to work out. Some people love staying on the ropes taking punishment. I don't know why, but some fighters do. Like we seen from Jerry Hurd, for instance. When Arias had Jerry Hurd up against the ropes, Hurd chose to just stay put. He park benched right up against the ropes. And when Arias touched him with that right and he felt it, he automatically sent the left right behind it. It was a distinct combination that he kept on doing over and over again. He would tap to the body, come over the top with the right. He touch you with the right, he come up top with the left. They reset to the middle box, end up in the same position. Arias may light him up with a right hand coming in, tap to the body, overhand right. because Hurd wanted to stay on the ropes. You stay on the ropes with Gervonta Davis, he might send that uppercut up, up the middle, and it ain't pretty. Or he chooses to go to the body, when you press him up against the ropes too. It's going to be interesting. But Deshaun, what you talking about that water, bro? What's going, L-Dub? What's good? What's good? It's going to be tough. Y'all should truly understand, what this is, man. His PPV is $69.99. Do you see what's going on? That price is up there, ain't it? Tank Davis and Mario Barrios, their PPV is $69.99, shawty. 60, it's nothing to compare that to when it comes to the lightweight division. The tickets, from what I hear, in the State Farms is almost sold out. So last time they opened up more seating in the State Farm, because I asked Leonard Ellaby about the capacity, and he just looked at me like I was asking a question that he didn't really want to go into. I get it. But I really wanted to know the capacity so I can kind of gauge how fast the tickets sell out as far as what the capacity. If you got 2,000 seats open and they tell me I sold out, okay, that's 2,000 seats. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just asking, like, what we looking at up in there? What's the numbers we looking at? So from what I hear, they've already had to open up some extra seating in State Farm's arena for this fight on the 26th. PPV is $69.99, shawty. $69.99. Don't cringe. Don't get upset about it. Tank trying to be a PPV star. His PPV is $69.99 versus Mario Barrios fighting in the division for the first time for a secondary title. $69.99, y'all. And you trying to tell me this man is not on the track to make money? Like, I don't know his breakdown on what he got to pay people. But seriously, $69.99 to fight for a WBA regular title? And you have not one fight at 140? That's good shit. Seriously, that's good shit. He's coming up from 130 to 140. What y'all think about that price? You gonna dip in your pockets, or are you gonna be the ones that crack streaming? Y'all better support these fighters, man, that deserve it. Tank Davis out here working his ass off, man. I think if all the fight fans would train for a week or two and spar a few times, they have a lot more respect for fighters in the sport. I totally agree, Jade. Absolutely. If you can just feel and be in there and understand how the punches feel, understand how it's like to get your bell rung, so to speak, because that's what it feels like when you get hit with a good shot with headgear on. That shit will have you looking up into the ceiling for no reason. Like, oh shit, motherfucking man, I didn't know the roof moved like that. Did y'all know the roof was moving? Look at the lights. The lights are kind of blurry. You know what I'm saying? You feel a lot different getting popped in the head with headgear. When you take that shit off, it's a different story. It's a different story. So yeah, it'd be good if, we can get some training. People can actually understand how this boxing shit is, even in mixed martial arts, to know how hard it is to train mixed martial arts. Don't gotta pay. It got a block TV free pay-per-view. Okay, for sure. Only fight I would pay for is Bud versus EJ. I don't believe you. I don't believe you wholeheartedly, bro. Because you're trying to say every PPV in between Bud and EJ, you just gonna let that shit bypass and it has some big names on it. I don't agree with that, bro. $70 not that bad. It ain't. Man, look who on the undercard down this motherfucker, dog. Come on. Look who's on the undercard. You got Erickson Lubin, man, facing Jason Rosario. You ain't gonna pay $70 for that shit? Come on, man. Come on, you got Erickson Lubin facing Jason Rosario, bro. You have J-Rock back in the building. That right there is going to give you that expectation like, man, we got 154 pounds up in this motherfucker. Looking real nice right now. The division that everybody says on fire, but they just waiting for this undisputed to take place so we can see how it shakes up the ranking system. How long Charlo gonna stay down there? Is he gonna defend his belt? Who has next up? We don't know who have next up because when it comes to Jason and Lubin, both of them been stopped. So we don't know. We don't know who's gonna win that fight, man. It's a 50-50. A lot of people just never took a punch in general. True. That mental pressure is different. I've seen MFers forget to breathe in there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And they don't even know it. They don't even know it. They're holding their breath and they're not breathing. The core isn't tight. That Bud versus EJ price going up. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Please. That's a fantasy fight that's not happening to next year, if that. So we don't have to talk about no prices. They got Lubin Rosario. That's a good fight. Absolutely, man. Aaron in the building. What's good? That is a good card, top to bottom. Yes, man. Fantastic. D Hodges, what's good, OG? What's up, World Combat Sports? Chat salute. Hit the like button if you're in the building, man. if you support the channel, man, it is what it is. Support the channel. I know I don't sit up here and host panels all the time. I don't sit up here and tell you to drop super chats. I'm telling you, if you understand what you're listening to be something that you appreciate about boxing and MMA, then cool. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. That's what it's about, man. But shout out to D Hodges in the building. But y'all need to pay close attention to what's going on with Tank Davis, man, because he's making moves, man. He may not have unified the division yet, like Teofimo Lopez. But I'm telling you, he's going for his third division already. If you think it's nobody else is going to follow his blueprint, you are mistaken. Because divisions matter. Period. Divisions matter. When people know that you're a 4-division champion, most people are going to look at it like, man, I didn't know they was a 4-division champion. Like a lot of people didn't know AB was a 4-division. They just remember his fight with Marcus Maidana. Oh, he lost his title up there. But they don't know he earned the title after that. Didn't nobody know it because, the fighter was not a well-known fighter, but he picked up a title. Because he skipped 140 initially when he moved up to 47. And then he came back to 140 and picked up a title. Crazy, ain't it? Crazy. That shit crazy what AB did. Salute to him, though. Salute to him. How you think Tank would do against Josh Taylor? It'll be a tough fight. Because Josh Taylor is strong too at 140. Josh Taylor is strong at 140. But like we know, everybody has a plan till they get punched in the mouth. That'll be an incredible fight. If Tank was to say somehow, some way he want to fight Josh Taylor for the undisputed, oh my God. The PPV for that shit is gonna be 80 easy. It's gonna be 89.99 easy. Javante goes in there and fight Josh Taylor for the undisputed, which isn't going to happen, but just for conversation. Crazy. Because Josh Taylor looks strong in there, man. But just look at it this way also. You have to go back to the Regis fight. Regis was a different type of opponent than Jose Ramirez. Regis Prograis went the distance with Josh Taylor. So I wonder if Josh is going to give him a rematch or what we're going to see, inside of that. Regis is a dog, man. That 140-pound division is very, very interesting. Very exciting division, that 140-pound division. We just seen Elvis Rodriguez. He had all the hype behind him and everything. Kenneth Sims had different plans. He went in there and had a shining moment, just like J-Rock had when he fought Hurd. He was landing some shots. Oh my God. I was like, shit, this is target practice. This dude, Kenneth Sims Jr., is actually a friend on my Facebook. He was punctual in that mug. God damn. Like, I enjoyed watching that fight. I absolutely did. I enjoyed watching that fight like I did, Angelo Leo and Stephen Fulton. Watch how they move. Seriously. Tank, Teofimo Lopez is about to have his first PPV over there on Triller, June 19th. But I'm going to tell you, many people will say, well, Teofimo Lopez is on the pound for pound. He is, because he beat the man on the pound for pound. That's one of the only situations that Tank Davis haven't did yet. And just because him getting in trouble outside the ring, they may somewhat ostracize Tank Davis a little bit off the pound for pound, even though you don't need any prerequisites. Okay. You don't need too many prerequisites on the pound for pound. You shouldn't. But when it comes to individuals like Tank Davis, sooner or later, you're going to have to put this man on the pound for pound if he keeps on winning. You're going to have to. It don't matter if it's 9 or 10. Tank Davis will be a 3-division champion if he defeats Mario Barrios. So you're telling me you can have Juan Estrada on there, but you're not going to have Tank Davis. And Juan Estrada's been on there for a minute. So you're saying you're going to have Gennady Golovkin in there, depending on where you look, just holding an IBF title, campaigning at middleweight for as long as he has? It's going to come a moment where we're going to have to start having these talks about Gervonta Davis being on the pound for pound list. We're going to have to start having these conversations about Tank being on the pound for pound list. Tio is up there because he defeated Vasyl Lomachenko, who was on the pound for pound list. So maybe Tank will have to fight a Lomachenko. I doubt it. A lot of people talking about he planned on campaigning at 140 for good. I don't think so. I just don't think so. It's still a lot of paychecks down at 135. Him and Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Vasyl Lomachenko. It's just too many. Ryan Garcia, whenever he stops capping, it's too many paychecks down at 35 for Tank Davis to stay at 40. That's real talk. Man, how do I see Loma Nakatani going? Man. Look, when it comes to Japanese fighters, right? They fight with a sense of pride, man. I'm not saying Mexican, black, and European fighters don't fight with a sense of pride. But being over Japan for over 6 years, there was a lot of Japanese friends I had, and my Japanese used to be pretty damn good. And I seen combat sports, the way they compete over there, the way they respect the schools. I seen that play out when he was fighting Teofimo Lopez. I seen that play out when he was in there with Felix Verdejo. I seen it. Him getting dropped, getting back up. That Japanese pride, man. I see Nakatani off his last 2 fights. I'm looking at him with Teofimo Lopez and him with Felix Verdejo. He should be able to go in there and get that victory over Lomachenko. Real talk. I think he has enough power to drop Lomachenko just like Linares did. I'm just being honest, people. Don't ask me for my opinion. That's all it is. I feel that Nakatani, as young as he is, and with Lomachenko, with all those amateur miles on him, I believe Nakatani, if he's smart, can go in there and give Vasyl Lomachenko the business. That'll be the biggest win of his career. I believe he can do it. He can hand Lomachenko his third loss. Senior said Teofimo card would do $2 million. Shit might barely touch 200,000. Hey, they're competing with Jamal Charlo. I don't think right now, with the depth of their card, having Vitor Belfort fighting the real Tarzan, Michael Hunter, and all those names, I don't see people I don't see it doing 2 million PPV. I don't see it doing that just off Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos. Like they need a heavier undercard. They need a Lubin, a Jason Rosario. They need a J-Rock in that motherfucker. They need some names. Like Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson is fighting on the undercard of Deontay Wilder. Sanchez is in there against a Jogbe. Come on, man. Sanchez versus Jogbe. Oh my God. You put that on that undercard of Triller, I'm saying it does 2 million. But with Teofimo Lopez alone, I don't know, man. After what I seen down here in Florida, I don't know. That floor, that Mayweather and Logan, that shit was going through weather conditions. It was just all bad. I don't know, man. I don't see it. But I see Nakatani beating Vasyl Lomachenko. Just like I had Teofimo Lopez defeating Lomachenko, I feel that Nakatani has that momentum coming off of a Verdeo win, getting off the canvas twice. I think he gets it done. I think he gets it done. 200,000 ain't bad for PPV debut versus Kambosos. Look at it this way, Mitch. When it comes to Teofimo Lopez, that's just like people saying, like, they'll put this up there. Oh, well, Devin Haney, he's this age. Look what he's doing at this age as champion. If you're going to say, look what Teofimo's doing at this age, he has this amount of fights at this age. So we can't really put him in a slot to say, you know what, 200,000 ain't bad for PPV debut. No. You have to go into there with the mindset that you've been a PPV fighter already. You have to promote this fight as if you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. We can't sit up here and coddle these fighters when it's time for them to step up and say, you know what, it's their first PPV debut, y'all. Just give them. No. You have to sell the fight. You have to go in there with the intentions of saying, let me convince the people that they need to pay for me. I'm not gonna be on here whining to my, oh yeah, it's my first PPV, so don't expect the numbers to be that high. No, go in there and break some records. You start outside the ring promoting the fight. And I believe Teo's been doing a damn good job with his new PR and the promo that they've been putting on via Triller. The pictures, his IG count has been cleaned up, nothing but boxing. But it takes more than Teo right now. When I say that, it needs a dance partner. If it was Devin Haney on this Triller card, it's doing 2 million easy. If Devin Haney was the person that Teo was fighting on this PPV, easy 2 million. Gervonta, we're talking about well over 2 million. Well over 2 million. Easy work. But George Kambosos? I don't know, people. But if you throw Devin Haney on that motherfucker, it's doing 2 million. You throw Gervonta on there, it's doing 2 million plus easy. Easy. Because he has a dance partner. You have two individuals that the fight fans are familiar with, and they're going in there for a championship throwdown on PPV. Yes, they buying that shit. I see Loma outboxing Nakatani. Hey, a lot of people are going to continue to say, I see Lomachenko outboxing. They said the same thing about Teofimo. One Nakatani, the one that supposedly gave Teofimo Lopez problems in the beginning of the fight, and Teofimo was saying like, "I'm good, I don't have to fight any more tall fighters." He had a problem with a tall fighter, but he made adjustments, right? Vasyl Lomachenko, going into that fight, everybody gave him the nod. Lomachenko gets it done. He defeats Teo. It didn't get done. I'm saying the same thing about Nakatani. Nakatani had the best fight of his career, and I see him coming out victorious, man. Y'all got to understand that Lomachenko has miles on his body, man. He petitioned the franchise belt. What he's going to petition against Nakatani? Not a damn thing. Referee, please. What's going on, Pac-Man? ATL in the building. Salute to you. Golden Warrior on deck. He's out there in Tuscaloosa, getting that training out there at Wilder's gym. Shout out to Tate Jones in the building. It's real. It's been real. But hearing the news about this presser is damn good news. When I hear Japan, the first thing I think about is hook and jab. Hook and jab. Damn. Okay, Jay, I hear you. I know what you're talking about. I got you. Jay Senior be wilding, man, but his shit has been coming to fruition though. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Ted, if you got a minute, I don't know what you got going on, but you don't have to. But whenever you get around to it, man, you want to, just talk briefly on what's popping next week. If you know anything about it, it's all good. If not, it's all good. Respect. Inoue is fighting on the same day as Teo as well. Yeah, it's not the Inoue at 118 pounds though. See, Jay, you have to specify which Inoue you're talking about, because people are like, oh, Naoya Inoue, he's fighting. It's a different one. It's one that's unified champion at bantamweight. It's the one that's fighting this weekend. But you're absolutely right. Teo Senior was hating hard on Floyd's exhibition, talking about karma. Listen, I know exactly what you're talking about, Blueprint, when it comes down to he believes that Floyd attempted to slide into a fight date and force them to move. And I'm glad they was able to lock in another slot that wasn't too far off the June 5th date. It may have worked out in the favor of Teofimo Lopez on how the card went down. Like, it was so many obstacles with the rain, man. The rain being wet. It was just so much going on there. But I still say Floyd went in there and did what he's supposed to with Logan Paul, who's fighting the heavyweight. I got to give him his props, man. And I don't believe in that karma shit, man. Come on, man. People gonna talk their shit regardless, just like Teo be talking their shit. How you think Logan or Jake would do against Conor in a boxing match? Good question, man. Being that they fight at different weight classes. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think Conor McGregor would knock out Logan Paul. Easy. Because he's a counterpuncher. All right? Conor McGregor, when it comes down to somebody as inexperienced as Logan Paul, he would knock out Logan. Easy. Jake Paul, he sets up his whatever he got a little bit better. I just look at where Conor's been lately. It's hard to say. I would still say, him being stopped by Dustin Poirier, he can go in there and knock out Logan Paul. I'm not sure about Jake Paul with boxing gloves on right now for Conor McGregor. I don't know, man. I'm still looking at the trilogy between him and Dustin Poirier. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. He was stopped with leg kicks, first of all, not punches. Conor McGregor still punch his ass off. I don't know. Aaron say Teo versus Tank is that super fight. I don't care what anybody say. Absolutely. Man, that shit is, look, you talking about 2 million? Easy. $2 million easy, people. If you put a dance partner in there by the name of Haney, by the name of Davis in there with T.O., it does $2 million easy. Easy. Man, none of these young fighters doing 2 million PPV buys. Ryan, Tank, Haney, Teofimo. Loma and Shakur could fight on the same card and not do 2 million PPV buys. You said Loma and Shakur. Okay, that's two different fighters. One doesn't have a title anymore, even though he's a 3-division champion. Loma doesn't have his belts no more. So the glory is kind of, diminished just a bit with Loma. Shakur Stevenson, he's on his way, up, and he's not a PPV star at all. He's still working himself to be that. But yes, I truly believe if T.O. faced Haney for the WBC title, all the belts for undisputed, if Gervonta Davis faced T.O., I believe that's when you can pretty much get close to or equal to that potentially. Yes. Man, I'm telling you, man, because both, you got two big names in the lightweight division. Media would go crazy. Crazy. Oh, we getting T.O. Haney? Oh, shit. Okay, we getting T.O. Tank? Man, that's going to be hot because both of them have power. So what is boxing gravitating to? They're going to gravitate to the fighters with a little bit of punching power, that knockout. The bantamweight one is fighting. That's Marinos. Yeah, he's fighting some guy. Yeah, he just came off a knockout win. Yep. Monster's fighting on the 19th. Yeah, Monster is the one that's at bantamweight. Absolutely. Shout out to Josh Gray Jr. that's down there bantamweight too, man. I know you went off social media, but shout out to Josh Gray Jr. and Mr. Don't Blink. Good dude, man. He was the first boxer to give me a shout out. I appreciate that, Joshua Gray Jr. He was the first boxer to give me a shout out, man, and I didn't even ask for it. Like I used to, before I was on YouTube, I used to be on Facebook all the time. I used to tune in his lives when he was eating eggs and shit, getting ready to work out. He was eating a plate of scrambled eggs all the time. All that, man. Shout out to Josh Gray out of Chicago, man. Deer Park Gym, man. Shout out to Ed Bad Boy Brown, man. His friend that was shot and killed, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, bro. I'll take Jake over McGregor. We haven't seen Jake take a punch yet, though. But Conor don't really turn those punches over 8 to 10 ounce gloves. Logan is ass, though. Okay, I don't have nothing to say about that. Absolutely. You're right. Attention to detail, Conor don't turn his punches over when you're talking about putting them gloves on. Absolutely. Because, with 4 ounce gloves, that's exactly what I'm talking about with Clarissa Shields. She has proper punching technique. So she's coming over there with 4 ounce gloves, which will potentially increase her punching velocity and her punching power with 4 ounce gloves with a reduced ounce. Little ass 4 ounce gloves. It will increase her chances of knocking out her opponent, even with two knockouts on her boxing career. It will increase that shit with 4 ounce gloves, man. Word 2 million on ESPN. I'm telling you, man, look at what Teofimo, the viewership Teofimo and Vasyl Lomachenko did. The right dance partner, right? The right dance partner. Vasyl being the top pound for pound with the belts. T.O. going in there with the IBF strap. You have to have the right dance partner. You know what I'm saying? You have to have the right dance partner. And right now, with the history and the hoopla that's been talked online with Davis and Haney, well, both of them will match up well when it comes to PPV with T.O. I can't say that enough about that. You know what I'm saying? It's really a lot of fight cards on the 19th, kind of crazy. Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy though. For real, it's heavy. But what's really heavy is this press conference that's coming up next Tuesday. I don't think y'all really gather the magnitude of the press conference that's going down. That's why I had to find this thumbnail. I mean, not find the thumbnail, but I had to put this screenshot up there of the Bronze Bomber and the motherfuckers dropping bombs and Tyson Fury laid out that motherfucking dog. Y'all have no idea from the little interviews you received how intense this shit gonna be. You just don't understand, man. Technically, that Loma T.O. fight was free. It wasn't technically, it was. It was. But the point that they had 4 million plus viewership on free TV was cool. But then you have to take it in consideration champions, fighting champions. So Teofimo fight Gervonta Davis, who signed the Mayweather Promotions, right? If he beats Barrios, he's a 3-division champion. That is a lot of weight to hold. If Teofimo Lopez being unified champion in lightweight, undisputed, fighting Gervonta Davis, 3-division champion. That's a lot of viewership right there. You talking about Tank Davis out of B-More. Teofimo Lopez, who shocked the boxing community by going in there and defeating Vasyl Lomachenko and getting all the belts besides Haney's. And it's not his fault. He beat the guy. He beat the guy already. T.O. beat Vasyl Lomachenko, who used to be the WBC champion. We know that. That's old news. Then it's time for what's up next. Tank versus Leo did 250. Look, Charlo of all people. The Charlos don't sell, dog. They can put them on the same card and split up the cards in 2 separate motherfucking fight cards. The Charlo ain't doing anything except making comments and being IG, IG personalities, social media entities. That's it. They still winning, but they need to do more in the ring if they want to get that notoriety. Don't sit up here and keep on talking about race don't matter. Floyd and Logan didn't crack 1 million. Man, come on, Mish. You telling me that, man, there's no validity to that. For what I'm talking about compared to T.O. and Davis and Haney. Triangle. That has nothing. It was raining down there, and it was on a Sunday, bro. It was on a Sunday. They are, man. Watch what I tell you. They are. I'm telling you. If Tank go in here and his PPV is $69.99, he goes here and do solid numbers with Mario Barrios. I'm not saying they're gonna be, crazy, but his price tag is going up now. And he's fighting a more durable, respected opponent in Barrios. Even with a secondary title, people are looking at Barrios with much more validation than they did Gamboa stepping in here. They felt Gamboa has been on the canvas several times already. He was old and over the hill. Barrios, they looking at him as being a fit, youthful fighter who's able to go in there and use his height and reach on Gervonta and make it a good fight. Like I told you, I seen him fight already. Barrios is no joke. He's no slouch, man. He's not a can, Uber, Lyft, cab, none of that shit. He's bringing the Aztec warrior to the ring. And when they said that shit, Gervonta said, "What's that?" I know he knew what that was, man. They done studied. When they said they was fighting Barrios, they looked at how they call him the Aztec, and Tank probably said, "Hey, what's this shit right here? What's the Aztec?" They probably told him. But when he was on stage down here, he was like, "What's that? What that mean? Aztec? I ain't never heard of that. What that mean?" I'm telling you, man, he's sneaky trash talker, man. You got to pay for the ESPN, though. You just don't pay up front. Roy and Mike are the PPV kings until Wilder and Fury does 1 million and change. They're going to do 1 million easy. July. They're gonna do 1 million easy. Easy. This is retribution. This is hell to pay, man. This is the darkest place that you can imagine. That if you had to pay back or you had to face somebody in the heat of combat and your life depended on it. I know it's a sanctioned boxing match, but these two individuals have a different type of darkness about them now. You know, when it comes to somebody potentially trying to harm you to a point where you're not going to be able to compete or provide for your family, that shit becomes absolutely personal. Absolutely personal. That's where we at right now. We're talking personal shit. Mike and Roy did crazy numbers. Even my aunt was talking about it, and she doesn't even watch boxing. They're two big names of the sport. They're two legends of the sport, so they're supposed to do big numbers. You know why? Because Mike Tyson had all the film crew he could have to make those videos. And then his mitt holder act like he never held mitts for a boxer before. It was good to see Mike on the mitts. You know, doing old Mike style, you know, his lateral movement with his punches, speeding up the camera a little bit. I'm checking all that shit out. Speeding up the clip, time stretching it. Yeah, speeding that shit up. He probably had that shit at 145, 150. You know, speeding that clip up, putting some sound effects in there. It looked good. You didn't see too much from Roy, but Roy came in there and fought. Believe me, I was trying to get down to Bodyhead Island. Roy, please. Let me get down and get some pictures. Come on, man. Just get some pictures. Roy was taking that shit serious. He got in shape for it. And he came in there and did what he's supposed to do. But those are legends of boxing. These are individuals who have such a huge, large landscape ahead of them in the sport. They're going to change it, man. Somebody in the lightweight division is going to break out. Real talk. The lightweight division is going to break out when it comes to PPV potentially. I'm talking about somebody in the upcoming months is going to break out. But I truly believe Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury is going to do solid numbers, man. I'm thinking it may potentially touch Holyfield Tyson. That's my thought. That's my thoughts on that. That's my thoughts on that, man. I think it touches Holyfield Tyson. You think? 2.6 million? Come on, man. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. You think it does 2.6 million? Is it possible? Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield 2.6 million. Is it possible for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury to break that right there? Let me know. Is it possible, people? That's number 5 up there. Is it possible for Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder to do 2.6? Come on, man. I think this year, this may change. Number 5, it may change this year. Somebody, I don't know who's going to be the two fighters to do it. It's not going to be Jermell Charlo. It's not going to be Canelo Alvarez. It's not. I really think Wilder Fury and then somebody out of the lightweight division. I don't see anybody at 140 changing this right here. And the reason why I haven't mentioned the welterweight division, Errol and Bud, I don't even think they can do it. I don't. Because it's a lopsided. They're two big names. They're both on the pound for pound list, but Bud doesn't do media like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe when the fight is made, people will start gravitating and latching onto it. I don't know, man. It just needs a lot more fire behind it. Canelo said, F the PPV back in. These fans ain't buying shit. Give me upfront and split the ticket sales. The zone don't report numbers like that. Yeah, man. The zone, when they do report the numbers that they choose to, they're bloviated. You know what I'm saying? Their numbers like the third stage of rigor mortis. That shit's so bloated. Hold on for a second. All right, we back. This is a new era. People can stream anything nowadays for free. Not as much as you think, because like I tell people being in communications, IP addresses are traceable, even if it's a middleman in between. Even if you have to have a midpoint, it's still, and a lot of times, traceable. Everything is internet protocol, bits, bytes. There's numbers that are orientated with communications. Believe that shit. They may be able to have streaming accessibility, but also with accessibility is what? The opportunity to be traced. Pings. You know what a ping is? P-I-N-G. It's called packet internet groping. Don't let me get to being one of those computer dudes like I was in the military. That's what I did for 20 years, communications. IP config. For those of you that's into that computer, you remember configurations. But man, looking at this, let me put my thumbnail. This is gonna be a heavy month right now. I just want to know who's gonna be able to step out and excel at the end of the day. June 15, the first presser. Man, it's just so much with that, man. I cannot see it not being fireworks. I cannot see, like Tyson Fury said, he was going underground. So he must going to be a groundhog next Tuesday, because he definitely have to show his face if he even shows up. And I'm pretty sure the fans have heard, you know, I got your mojo in my pocket and everything else. We heard all that. This shit is about to get real come next Tuesday in Los Angeles. It's going to get real. I can't imagine what the energy is going to be like if they are on the stage at the same time. I know Deontay Wilder's not going to mess up his bag, you know, and put hands on Tyson Fury outside of the ring, but you never know what a person's thinking. You never know what they're thinking, man, especially as this fight is and how shit transpired last year, and all the back and forth going with, you know, saying that all the accusations he made, and then all the naysayers refuting it, you know, saying it's excuses. It goes back and forth, man. It's been verbal tennis for quite some time. You feel me? Interesting. Very, very interesting next week. Real talk. Very, very interesting. I was reading an article. I want y'all to hear some boxing news 24. They put out an article called "The Rise and Inevitable Fall of Deontay Wilder." So this is what I'm talking about. It's according to the author. So the person who wrote this article was Damian Poole. He wasn't the one that I read last time. So you have different people within the same outlet that think about fighters differently. One may praise him, one may vilify him. They say 35-year-old American heavyweight Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomber, 44-1 and 141 knockouts, has had a dramatic career as of this date. A dramatic career. I'm gonna nitpick some shit. From the highs of becoming world champion in 2015 to the dramatic defeat at the hands of Tyson Fury 2019. From the highs of becoming world champion in 2015 to the dramatic feat at the hands of Tyson Fury in 2019. Oh, is that right? This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about. You know, a person that write articles myself. How the media put out shit. So okay, let me just read before I jump to conclusions. Because I know I read dramatic defeat at the hands of Tyson Fury in 2019. I'm just trying to process that because I don't remember him facing a dramatic feat in 2019. You need to do your research there, Damian Poole. And the subsequent aftermath that followed with accusations. He's not doing his homework, bro. And the subsequent aftermath that followed with accusations, allegations, and sabotage. In this article, I will be covering Wilder's story and what went so wrong. Not every one of these damn authors, man. I get it. Deontay Wilder originally aspired to play American football or basketball for his hometown Alabama Crimson Tide. But in 2005, at the age of 19, the birth of Deontay's first daughter, who was diagnosed with spinal bifida during the pregnancy, put an end to his college sporting career. With exorbitant medical bills looming and working 3 jobs at IHOP, Red Lobster, and driving a beer truck, Wilder decided to make. See, this is he mentioned the names of the fast food restaurants. I mean, you know, just the restaurants in general. He said IHOP and Red Lobster. But when it came to the beer truck, he just put beer truck as if he's driving a motherfucking an old Ford down the street with a donut on it. Wilder decided to make a career out of boxing to help support his family and, more important, his daughter. This is a horrendous article so far. I was just a guy, and this is a quote, so he's gonna get this right. I was just a guy in college, was on a basketball team, he tells Sun Online. So when you take somebody else's, you know, you definitely have to cite them. So this is going to be right. I'd do it all over if I had to for my daughter. She's the one that got me into boxing. In January 2015, Deontay Wilder had his shot at becoming a world champion against Canadian WBC champion Bermane Stiverne. This would be the first time Deontay Wilder went 12 rounds against a boxer who many at the time did not consider a true or worthy champion due to the nature of how he acquired the WBC belt. But vacant belt or not, Bermane was a world champion nonetheless. What was surprising during this fight is how Deontay Wilder could knock out a slow, predictable Stiverne. Okay? A slow, predictable Stiverne. Before the Stiverne fight, Wilder had knocked out all 33 opponents. All bet hideously lopsided matchmaking. Either way, Wilder worked hard and became a WBC world champion, just like he promised to his daughter. I promised her that daddy would be a world champion one day, and I'll be able to support her. I made sure I could deliver that promise. She inspired me to change my profession. Deontay Wilder would go on to make 10 successful title defenses, equaling the great Muhammad Ali. Once again, equaling the great Muhammad Ali. No matter the hate, he's in the history books, equaling the great Muhammad Ali. As impressive as it sounds, having that many defenses, a closer look at Wilder's title opponents reveal a much more startling story. So here we go, you know, with the breakdown and individuals like Damian Poole, who's pretty much finding any type of angle in his words to diminish a heavyweight history for which Deontay Wilder has fought the fighters that's accessible to him, that's in the heavyweight pool. You know what I'm saying? That Damian, he fought the fighters that are in the heavyweight pool. So you don't have to name off as if we have a whole 20 top 10 that he didn't fight in this era. One, Eric Molina, John Duhaupas, Arthur Spilka, Chris Areola, Jared Washington, Romain Stavern, Luis Ortiz, Tyson Fury, Dominique Brazil, Luis Ortiz. So you see once again how he placed the fighters with the lower tier rankings or whatever. You know, he might have tried to put them in order, but he could have just put the ranking systems in no specific order down to the lowest. I mean, you know, down to the lowest ranking. It was more than one way how to do this. As you can see, a lot of Wilder defenses are against the same opponent. In fact, nearly half are the same. Romain Stavern twice, Luis Ortiz twice, and even Tyson Fury twice. So he said even half. So you're saying you mentioned 10 opponents, and you're basically saying Wilder defenses. Okay, Wilder defenses. I got you. 6. So okay, I got you. Whatever. And even Tyson Fury twice. But I did not include the rematch fight with Tyson Fury on Deontay's success defense list for obvious reasons. Lastly, 1/5 of Wilder's defense were not even ranked in the top 15. So as you can all see, Wilder's resume of defenses is starting to look a bit thin. And this lack of challenging opponents will prove disastrous later on down the line for the Bronze Bomber. Deontay Wilder was unsuccessful in securing a mega fight deal with the British heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua when he turned down a $120 million deal with the Zone. He's not going to put in there what the actual contingencies was internal to the contract. Let's see if I stroll down. And then previously failed to sign a contract that Wilder himself agreed to from Eddie Hearn Matchroom Promotions for $15 million. So this dude is actually bringing up the $15 million flat fee. And going back as far as 2017, Wilder was the man in a ridiculous 50-50 split. But I'm not going to go into details about this. Just read my previous article titled Deontay Wilder Holding the WBA and the Heavyweight Division to Ransom. So he's a hater. This author right here is a freaking hater. He doesn't have anything good to say. So I get it. He's a hater. So Deontay Wilder turned his attention towards former world champion Tyson Fury, who at times fell off the rails after defeating the legendary Vladimir Klitschko. So you're trying to tell me that Deontay Wilder turned his attention toward former world champion Tyson Fury, who at the time fell off the rails after defeating legendary Vladimir. Just call him a dope fiend. Just say he was suspended from the sport for popping dirty. If you're going to be extremely biased like this and writing an article. Doing Tyson 3 years out the ring, he suffered from oh my God, this dude, man, come on. He suffered from depression, drugs, and alcohol abuse, and ballooned up to 300 pounds. It got to be mental illness in there somewhere. To Wilder and his team, this seemed like an easy win against the boxer who they thought was washed up, providing a perfect path to getting an even 50-50 purse split against Anthony Joshua. It's some bullshit. This cat right here, he's not even mentioning the fact of what was pending with him with Christian Hammer. And the fact that he filed an appeal heading into the Vladimir Klitschko fight and retired to per se, avoid punishment. This guy's leaving out. This is an extremely embryonic, biased type article when it comes down to it. But life has a way of throwing a spanner in the works. In the first Wilder versus Fury fight, the Bronze Bomber was lucky to get a draw. Many professionals had Tyson's work rate inside the ring superior to Wilder's and easily outpoint the American, giving what should have been a win to the Gypsy King. But the rematch was more clear-cut. With Tyson, look, listen to these words. With the Tyson schooling, with the Tyson. Nigga, look, somebody fire this dude. He's not doing any type of revisions. He's not checking his work, but he want to goddamn put all this bias shit. I can go up here and write an article tomorrow and be just as biased as he is. But he says this, outpointing the American, giving what should have been a win to the Gypsy King. But the rematch was more clear-cut. With the Tyson, the Tyson, schooling Wilder in every round until his corner had enough and threw in the towel in submission at the 7th round. Man, normally at this point, most boxers would have analyzed their mistakes, played back the video footage, and learned from the errors that they were made and improved upon them. Sadly, this was not the case for Deontay Wilder. Instead, he decided to blame everyone and everything but his own lack of skills, sacking former trainer Mark Breland, even going too far as to blame Mark for spiking his water. More excuses from Wilder followed, such as the ring walk suit was too heavy, egg weights in his Tyson glove. He got this from he retrieved this info from other sites. Tyson gloves weren't wrapped up correctly. The ref was crooked, crab in a bucket. Bicep injury sustained while the fight. Tyson used illegal rabbit punches. Hand no legs at the beginning. Hand no legs. Check this out, y'all. This is the person that's trying to criticize a lack of skills when you can't write a fucking article. You need to do better. Hand no legs. Hand no legs at the beginning of the fight. Hand no legs, people. He's trying to hate about someone having a lack of boxing skills and making excuses and all this shit, and he can't fucking reread and revise his article that he's putting out to the public. This is incredible. Hand, no legs. Who posted this for you? Do you have posting abilities? Do you have admin rights to post your own articles? Because there's so many damn errors in here. I understand it's errors to be made, but goddamn. Damn, bro. Hand, no legs. H-A-N-D. Hand, no legs. At the beginning of the fight. Anyway, Wilder claims he has the proof that Tyson cheated from doctor's report after the second fight, of which he sustained a dent to the side of his head, which could only be done by egg weight. This proof has yet to see the light of day. As for the water spiking, the Nevada Anti-Doping Agency cleared all boxing from having anything suspicious chemicals in their system. They cleared all boxing. This is another clear oversight on his part. Cleared all boxing. The ring walk suit weighed in around 40 pounds, according to his maker, which is the same weight as the training vest that Wilder wears. Fillers. This is off other sites. This is fillers. I've read this shit before. What about Tyson floppy gloves? Most credible boxers can't see how this could be effective. In fact, most experts say it will cause more harm to Tyson to have a floppy glove, increasing the risk of breaking Tyson's own wrist. So you're basically looking at the floppy glove, but not the point where his hand was at, right? Somehow Deontay Wilder was blaming the ref. I was never able to understand why this was the case to me. It looked like the ref favored Wilder when he deduced. He deduced Tyson a point without issuing an adequate warning. I think this guy is just looking at words that he goes along in this article. It's just it's horrendous, man. But the latest excuse is Wilder had COVID, and that's why he underperformed, aka dead legs. Though this has yet to be verified by Deontay Wilder himself, though this writer doesn't believe any proof will come to light, just like the doctor's report. Now we are some 18 months. I'm not even gonna go, too deep anymore into detail with this shit. That is a horrendous article, bro. I can't do that to y'all. I can't keep on reading that shit. It's extremely biased and it has so many mistakes in it. It has so many misspellings and mispronunciations. It's contextually deficient. At the same time, being surrounded by yes men telling him he was here stroking the damage. I mean, he's obviously a wilder hater. This dude's a hater, man. The Charlos are attention whores, period. Now that right there, Charlos being attention whores, I don't know if I 100% agree with that. They are guilty of doing some dumb shit sometime, saying some dumb shit. But like today, you know, he was actually calm. You know what I'm saying? He's actually calm because really he can't talk up that shit to his opponent like that, because don't too many people know who Montiel is. Like, real talk, he can't get stupid. He can't get stupid dumb over there. You know what I'm saying? Like his brother had a presser lead up with Tony Harrison. You can't do that with Montiel. Like, no one knows who he is. You're trying to put it off on them picking your opponent, but no one really truly knows who Montiel is, bro. Coach Chris in the building. What's good? This is Boxing News 24, and the article is written by Damian Poole. Damian Poole. Boxing News 24. This is one of the worst writers in your camp. I will write circles around this dude. He is one of the worst writers in your camp. And I've read other articles from your site, and they had errors too. So obviously you don't have an editor. You're providing everyone with admin rights just to post their own shit. And look, I'm gonna tell you why this shit is happening too. Because when I was writing for Ring, you had to produce a certain amount of articles a day. And they had to be a certain amount of words. But I think with these individuals right here, they're overextending their articles with information, and it's too much for them to go back and reread everything and revise it. They just want to post. Look, this is a long article for real. This is too much. But a new era, people can stream any. I read that already. What's up, Coach Chris? What's going on, Coach? Let them talk. All they have is 44 days. Yeah, for real. They have 43 actually. I think they have 43 if I'm not mistaken. They have 43, man. You know what I'm saying? They have 43. To be honest with you. Now they have 45. You was right. I mean, they have 45, not 44. But you know, either way, it's not that petty. It's not that petty. But that was the worst article I read in a while, man. Real talk. That shit was horrendous, man. I just like to read articles every now and then. I know it's boring to certain people. They don't want to hear that shit, but you can learn a lot from certain, you know, outlets that post shit like that. And it's absolutely biased as fuck. And it's errors everywhere. And they're using fillers from other people. Not every paragraph that they copy and paste, they're going to cite. They'll switch up a word or two, and it's not considered plagiarism. Believe me, I know this. When you take classes for public speaking and writing and all this other shit, they take you through the gamut. So you can just change up 2 or 3 words, you know, so it won't be plagiarism, man. In college, when you're writing a paper, yeah, they run your shit through the system to see if it's plagiarism. You get in some serious damn trouble plagiarizing like that, especially if it's word for word. But man, that doesn't make any sense. But check this out though. We're about to go into Thursday, and we get closer. Clarissa Shields fight tomorrow. All right, just so y'all know, Clarissa Shields fight tomorrow. So y'all be sure to tune in. I'm not sure if you caught the video on my IG, but I showed the video of Clarissa Shields walking in and weighing in. She weighed 54.8. So she was, once again, sustaining her professionalism. She balanced the scales appropriately. You know what I'm saying? She balanced the scales appropriately. So, she's ready. She's ready. So it's going down, and I will probably be definitely, when it comes down to it, covering Clarissa Shields' fight tomorrow via PFL. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that, because the fight itself it's over across, like, it's in a whole nother. It's not that easy. You can barely find out where to watch the damn thing at. For real. Like, I'm definitely gonna try to cover it myself. Real talk. It's gonna be on ESPN2. It's coming on Thursday, 7:00 p.m. Eastern, ESPN2. So we'll see how that play out. Once again, Brittany Elkins, she's 3'6". She's 3-6. They don't have her age up here. None of that shit. 5'8". They did insert her height up here. She's 5'8". Clarissa Shield is 5'8". 26 years old. So yeah, I'll try to definitely stop through and cover this Clarissa Shields fight tomorrow. It should be very interesting against Brittany Elkin. And shout out to Lance Palmer. Lance Palmer is stepping back in there fighting again. And you have Bubba Watson that's going to his second opponent, on this card. Sir Ken in the building. What's good? It's a World Combat Sports salute. Salute to the wrenches and salute to the chat. Smash the like button. Appreciate you there, Ken. Yeah, that's what it is, man. Heavy fight card coming up. The press conference going down next week. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. Gervonta Davis and Mario Barrios. You're going to see them more. It's probably going to be another presser coming up. I'm not sure where it's going to be at. I hope they have an open workout down here in the ATL so I can drop by there, scoop that up. I hope they show us love for an open workout down here in ATL. Believe that. I hope they do. 810 checking in home of the GWOAT. 810 checking in. Let me see. 810 checking in home of the GWOAT. What that mean exactly? 810 checking in home. I might be missing something. You know what I'm saying? I might not be picking up what you're saying. What you mean, Ken? 810 checking in home of the GWOAT. What you mean? Let me know what you mean. Anybody got any comments, on the topics? What you got to say about these fights or whatever the case? You can click that link. Let me know what's popping. Talk your shit. You can talk about, the Barrios Davis fight, man. You want to talk that MMA? We could. Wilder Fury. It's totally up to you. I'm saying either way it goes, it's going to be a combat sport dialogue. Either way you want it, It means Flint town in the house. Okay. So Flint is 18 area code. Okay, I got you. Appreciate the EDU. You know what I'm saying? Educate me. That's Flint, Michigan area code. All right, got you. Yeah, Flint, Michigan is going to be in the building. Real talk. Flint, Michigan is going to be in the building. And like I said before, I really want Carissa Shields to go in there and show out tomorrow. You know, be smart. Being smart doesn't mean, using your boxing skills to close distance and just get reckless and say, I ain't worrying about nothing else. I'm a dog and I'm just going to, no, just be patient. If you're going to attack all the way up to the point where you keep your distance so she cannot get close to you and you light her ass up like it's the 4th of July. If not, if you're sweeping the outside and you want to get her impatient, understand that in mixed martial arts, the crowd, they are somewhat impatient too, especially when you have a boxer coming over to the mixed martial arts arena. So if you stay on the outside too long and you're refusing to engage, oh man, the boos are going to come down like raindrops. They're going to come down quick in a hurry. Torrential. Boo, 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 get her out of here, boo. You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to block out that shit or whatever. But if you're going to allow yourself to be the counter striker, once again, you can only allow a grappler like that to get a little bit, not too much. Once you get up in range, you're going to have to move forward and blitz and land your punches, man. Don't wait for her to get too close to the point where she can just shoot in without giving anything. No kicks, no punches, no nothing. If she get in too close, it's not going to matter what you throw because she's going to be underneath you so quick. You're going to be like, God damn, that was quick. Now I got to fight this submission. Now I have to fight this submission. And that's going to be difficult to do with somebody that has the grappling pedigree of Elkin. That's just my weakness right now. That's my concern when it comes to Carissa Shields. That's just my concern, man. Don't get taken down. Keep your distance. Be patient. Don't give a fuck about what the crowd's saying. And work your motherfucking God-gifted ability of your hands. Work your motherfucking hands. Work your hands. Don't try to go in there and think you need to knock a motherfucker out. Wait and do it smartly. Use plan A, use plan B, whatever. But no, if you run straight up on a grappler, their natural instinct is to change levels and get in on your hips. So know that. It's going to be crucial. Did Holly Holmes leave boxing for the same reason Carissa did? No, Holly Holmes left boxing because it was time for her to leave boxing. She was an 18-time world champion, 3 weight divisions. Holly Holmes left boxing and went into kickboxing first. Then she went over to the Ultimate Fighting Championship. So she had kickboxing, and then she came over here and she was trained in mixed martial arts, and then she made her introduction over to the UFC. And she shocked the world. That was one of the biggest upsets in mixed martial arts history. Her defeating Ronda Rousey when Ronda Rousey had defended her title 5 times, people. Ronda Rousey had defended her title 5 times and she couldn't be beat. She seemed unstoppable up to the point where she was on ESPN talking some shit saying, oh, I beat Floyd Mayweather with one hand tied behind my back. But I bet she don't say that shit now. Even after seeing him in this fight this past Sunday, Ronda Rousey's like, damn, he's stronger than I thought. He more talented than I thought. Shit, he's not easier than I thought. He would have lit her ass up. Ronda Rousey had the opportunity, if she wanted to, try her hand. She could have fought Floyd in a boxing match or exhibition. Could you imagine Ronda Rousey fighting? If she's up here on ESPN saying that she's sending the message to Floyd, taunting him for not getting the athlete of the year or whatever the case may be. And for her to attempt to step in a boxing arena with Floyd Mayweather on exhibition, he would have ruined her career before Holly Holmes did. Holly Holmes fucked her up with a high kick, and she never saw it coming. That's after the frustration of Holly just eluding all her power punches. She couldn't get on. And then the time she tried to get in on Holly's hips, Holly has very solid base. That didn't work. She got frustrated. So she said, damn, I can't get a hold of her and clinch. And I can't seem to land my damn power shots because her defense is on point. She was discombobulated, confused, and then Holly Holmes made her dizzy. That's pretty much how it worked out, y'all. Holly Holmes made Ronda Rousey dizzy from a left high kick and then some ground and pound, and she shocked the world. One of the biggest upsets in mixed martial arts history. 18-time world champion, 3 division. Y'all have to give Holly Holmes her props too, because she did it. She did the damn thing. And listen, once again, I know y'all saying that Shield's going, to fight MMA, but I'm telling you, she's not going into the UFC. The UFC is one of the top tier promotions in MMA. Their lineup of women are incredible. They may only have 4 divisions, but goddamn it, the women that's competing over there in mixed martial arts, they get to fight each other over and over again. So you have to come up here and improve something. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is over there. You end up fighting some of the same fighters over and over again. You fight some new ones in between, but you got to improve your game, man. Just like Rose Namajunas. She went in there against Joanna Young Jacek after all the personal taunts, saying she was weak-minded. She wasn't ready for the big time. She just criticized her shit. It got personal. She knocked her ass out in 1 fucking round. And guess what? Joanna was about to defend her title and surpass Ronda Rousey. And Rose Namajunas shut that shit all the way down. Then said it was a fluke, and they gave her the immediate rematch, and she beat her in the decision, earning a takedown in the 5th round. That's good shit. Clarissa Shields has no plans of ever leaving boxing. She is in it to continue her path of greatness, period. She's already great. She's already great there, Ken. I mean, what other greatness can she do? You have Amanda Serrano, a 7 division champion. And people don't even look at her and blink an eye. They just say, oh, yeah, she has 7 division. Who did she fight? One step I would say for Clarissa Shields is to go down to 147. Go get the titles at 47. If you have to say you're going to lose your butt and go beat the shit out of McCaskill, because she's a wild one. I ain't saying she ain't tough, but she's a wild one. What they call a wildflower? She's a wildflower. Go pick up that division for them unified titles down there. That's a big fight for you, Clarissa. Demand more pay. If Teofimo Lopez can demand more pay, and that was his first unification bout with Vasil Lomachenko, shit, you should be able to go over there on what your credentials are at the moment and demand some nice paper too if you drop down there and fight McCaskill. I think she'll run through McCaskill. Brockus just wasn't willing to engage, man. Like, she didn't have enough intensity. She had to come in with that aggression to get her attention. I just didn't see it. But yeah, check it out, man. I'm looking forward to it. Real talk. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really curious to just assess if the fight go past the 1st round. How does Clarissa Shields do in the ring? I mean, a cage that's 5 minutes per round, and she going for 2 minutes a round, and she has an extra 3 minutes onto that. What is going to be her mindset? How can she do it? How can you get out of 5-minute round? Where's your mind taking you? You used to a quick 2-minute rounds. Now you have 5 minutes per round to figure something out. It's not all about knockout. It's all about, setting your opponent, carefully, strategically planning your offensive authority. That's what you need to pay attention to. But it's always a pleasure, people. Appreciate you pulling up. I was going to see if anybody had any words to say, any comments about, the topics that I discussed. But, I know that article was fucked up. I didn't mean to bore y'all, but sometimes I like reading articles just because of what they have to say. Shout out to Shakur Stevenson. He's going there against Jeremy Nakathila. And of course, not too many people know who he is, but it's just another opponent for Shakur to go in there and display his skill set this weekend. So shout out to the Boxing Emperor. Go get that shit done so you can move on to a bigger and better fight. Whether it be the winner of Jamel Herring, Oscar Valdez, or they put you in there with something dealing with the IBF. Who knows, man? You about to fight for the interim. That's good. Shakur Stevens about to go ahead and fight for the interim. You know what I'm saying? It's another chip, ain't it? Shakur Stevens about to pick up another division. That's crazy. Hey, man, y'all hold it down, man. If y'all choose to donate once again, do so. Definitely have some boxing excursions that's coming up for media-wise and try to provide it for my supporters. So, it's flashing across the screen. Hit the like button, share the content, and turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6 cents for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power, I got the keys, cause I break the chains. They try to hold me, I'ma push back, just wait and you'll see. Please excuse me, your honor, but you can't hold me no longer. Can't you feel the vibrations? I broke out and left traces. Go ahead, try to catch me if you can, man. You'll be looking all night, I'm the Sandman. New York, London to Japan. I'ma show the whole world who I am.